How's it going, everybody? In this video, we're going to be talking about one of the most influential and legendary herbs on the planet. None other than Reishi mushroom. So what I'm holding here in my hand is the absolute best Reishi mushroom extract you could buy on the market, Hyperion Herbs. And those who have been following my channel for a while know that I've been taking Hyperion Herbs products really since like 2014, give or take, starting with their gynostemma extract, and I believe I also was taking their mucuna at first. And I've been consistently taking their cordyceps extract since 2020, and Reishi on and off, as well as a variety of their other products. And I have a podcast with the CEO, Brandon Gilbert. He's awesome person. Anyway, wanted to talk about Reishi. There's a lot of really poor Reishi mushroom products on the market, and there's a lot of horrible freaking advice and information on Reishi. A lot of freaking fear-mongering with Reishi. That's a pretty big problem. So I want to get into the nitty-gritty and try to make a detailed video, but one that's nice, concise, and short as well. So Reishi mushroom, okay, or Reishi, however you want to say it, whatever, okay. So Reishi, first of all, there's actually a wide variety of different types of Reishi. You have red Reishi, purple Reishi, there's yellow Reishi, white Reishi. There's actually a lot of different forms of Reishi, right? So this is downward Reishi extract. I've taken whole Reishi mushrooms and made concoctions and teas, simmering it in the traditional kind of tonic herb elixir, tonic herb soup, tonic herb tea way, where you would simmer it or slow cook it for 12, 24, sometimes 48 hours, depending on the herb and the potency you're desiring. I've taken a lot of different extracts and different types of Reishi as well, and I can definitely say Donwood Reishi it's definitely the number one. But there's also red Reishi as well, which is okay. So Reishi, legendary. It's known as a herb of spiritual potency. It's known as the supreme protector. The herb of spiritual potency. I don't know if I already said that, or just plain out the herb of kings, or the king of herbs. And oftentimes you'll hear, terms like king of herbs intertwined or exchanged with things like ginseng and whatnot. And I think the herb of kings is actually Polyricus black ant, which is also another amazing herb, by the way. Polyricus ant's great, especially in combination with ginseng and reishi. But reishi is commonly taken for cultivating the shin, cultivating mental qualities, as well as really what traditionally its claim to fame is cultivating spiritual qualities. There's a lot of mysticism involved with reishi. And anyone who's taken a really good quality reishi or reishi extract for a long time knows probably quite a bit of what that mysticism's about. Taking reishi, you feel a definite change in your mentality, in your kind of feeling state of life, is a good way to put it. Reishi is not something you take for just a kind of like a change in dopamine or something. Reishi is something that when you take it, your whole emotional being changes, like your emotional aura changes completely. You feel it physically and viscerally, okay? Now, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that reishi is like a hallucinogen or something. It's something much more intricate. It's much deeper than that. It's much more sustainable, healthy, and long-lasting, building intentional change. Let's put it that way, right? It's not a short-term experience in the least, right? But when you do take reishi for the first time, you will definitely feel overcame with like a like you're stepping into, I don't want to like go too deep into details like that, but it's something you definitely feel in the first time. And as you take it over time, the effects sort of they start inside of you, and then they start to radiate themselves outward to other areas of your life, including your careers and especially your relationships, your social dynamics, and the way that you see the world will change when you take Reishi. And in the first couple weeks of taking Reishi, at least in my experience, keep in mind everyone's going to have a different experience with Reishi. Reishi tends to be the best thing in the world for a lot of people, and you'll find usually it's not common, but there's a subsect of people, usually a very small percentage, maybe like 5%, maybe 10% at the most. It's probably 5%. The ones that you'll see leaving like really bad like stories on like Reddit posts and stuff like that are going to be like the 5% of people that like, if even that, it might be more like 2 or 3%, because Rishi's really widespread these days. You find a lot of cheap bullshit Reishi in stores and shit, so a lot of people will take it. And a lot of these horror stories you hear about Reishi is from people that are taking like a really low quality fake extract, right? So if you ever see Reishi mycelium extracts or just Reishi powder, doesn't say the standardization ratio, the extracts, or anything of that nature, whether it's a dual extract, etc., or explaining how it's grown, stuff like that, then that's a red flag. But anyway, there's like a 5% at the very, very most subsect of people who have very bad, who just can't handle the initial experiences of Reishi. It's a lot of times a nocebo effect, but the other 95% of people, they experience life-changing effects, right? But it'll affect everyone differently. The first couple weeks with me, when I first started to really get into high-quality reishi extracts, taking Hyperion herbs at least, I was getting over a breakup. And I don't want to go too deep into it, but it was a girl I was with for over 5 years. We lived together. We had a very, it was like the deepest relationship I think either of us had at that point. Well, I know at that point especially. I don't know about her right now. As far as I know, she found someone who's much, much better suited for her and can handle her heart, because she has a very kind and warm, sweet, good heart. I'll put it that way. And anyway, but I was getting over a breakup and whatnot, right? And it was like a mutual agreement. But it was still very, very sad for me, very hard, even though we knew it was best for us, and a lot of it was me that initiated it. But Reishi really made me sit in my feelings. Like, I felt very sentimental. And it was like I couldn't ignore my feelings. I couldn't escape the reminiscing and regrets and kind of like the feelings of like the low feelings, the negative feelings from the relationship, right? So I was feeling, most importantly, what is the word? The feeling of loss. What the fuck is that word? Whatever. There's a word for it. Like when someone dies and a relationship goes away. Whatever. I don't know why I'm blanking out on that. But as well as like my mistakes and the things I could have done better. The lessons extracted from the relationship were felt deeply, and mostly because obviously that's a common, normal thing, healthy thing to go through after a relationship, reflecting on your mistakes. Not to mention, the C word, like the pandemic happened, okay, the quarantine and all that bullshit, literally right at the same time. Right, so it didn't help. But Reishi really wouldn't let those reflections go. Like, all the lessons extracted were felt deeply. The memories were there, and Reishi was really kind of locking me into extracting as much lessons and as much, breaking down as much of the emotional kind of baggage as possible, if that makes sense. Now I will say that, that's something that a lot of people probably can't handle, but that's what I experienced, especially at higher dosages, right? Anyway, some of the benefits though, so that's like kind of like the spiritual aspect of Reishi, right? Um, so for a lot of people who might be trying to like really go through those types of like deeper feeling experiences, trying to move on to a new kind of era in your life or something like that, transitional phase, Reishi could probably really help with that. But Rishi's really more so really well known for sleep benefits, improving sleep, improving relaxation, calming people down. It's a very strong antihistamine, helping to overcome things like allergies, boosting the immune system. There's a lot of really good research on reishi mushroom for improving the immune system and things of that nature. And mood boosting benefits, right? So anti-depression type of things, anti-anxiety is really big because it really helps to calm the nervous system, calm the digestion, and calms the mind. Some people kind of describe reishi as the herb for scholars, because a lot of scholarly types, for me, my mind, before I learned effective kind of mental cognitive kind of strategies, how to control my mind and stuff, it was chaos all the time, right? Reishi can really help people with overactive minds settle that down, relax, so you can kind of think clearly. So why does what do I think is responsible for Rishi's profoundly powerful, relaxing, and kind of stabilizing effects on the mind and the emotions? Personally, so the research on it is interesting. So there's some research that suggests Reishi might affect the choline and the acetylcholine system in a positive way. But the main thing that I see with Reishi is it seems to dramatically boost your body's endogenous production of glutathione and superoxide dismutase. So your own endogenous antioxidant system seems to be boosted and bolstered by Reishi's profound effect on the immune system. And essentially what that does, right? So glutathione, superoxide dismutase, right? And this is a typical kind of pattern that you'll see with tonic herbs like Hoshu Wu as well, which, by the way, I try a lot of different Hoshu Wu. Hyperion Herbs definitely has the best. Hyperion Herbs, Hoshu Wu, Brandon Gilbert, look up his YouTube. He has a lot of good videos on Hoshu Wu. Brandon Gilbert is the CEO of Hyperion Herbs, and he's been using Hoshu Wu for like 20 years. He's been using Reishi for longer than that. And so Hoshu Wu also seems to boost, it does in fact boost superoxide dismutase and endogenous antioxidants. And it has a similar kind of relaxing and grounding effect as well. So Reishi, I do believe its calming effects are due to its glutathione boosting benefits, which directly and indirectly affects GABA, glutamate, and NMDA receptors in a positive way. So for those of you who have a bit of knowledge and experience in nootropics and neurotransmitters and stuff like that, there are a variety of supplements that have similar effects as far as like how Reishi can feel sometimes. I don't think this is everything, because Reishi is a much more deeper, complicated, kind of nuanced. It's a much more, there's a lot more to Reishi than like some of these other compounds. But if you've ever taken something like N-acetylcysteine, also known as NAC, obviously during the pandemic I was taking that, and I had my clients take that to heal from the you-know-what faster. And then the FDA took that shit off the market. I wonder why, right? And N-acetylcysteine is a direct precursor to glutathione. And when you take N-acetylcysteine, a lot of people have taken it to overcome addictions. Reishi is amazing for overcoming things like pornography, drug addiction, cigarette smoking, all that stuff. That's one of the biggest things Rishi's known for. Acetylcysteine, NAC, N-acetylcysteine, also does the same things. It's a direct precursor to glutathione, and it is also used for a lot of the same things that Reishi is. Boosting the immune system, overcoming cancer, respiratory illness, improving mood, overcoming addiction. Did I say that already? Overcoming anxiety, all of those things. Reishi and N-acetylcysteine kind of share in common. The only difference is that N-acetylcysteine is a pharmaceutical compound and doesn't have the balancing qualities that Reishi has. It's a one kind of track pony where you take it, it has one effect, whereas Reishi has a wide variety of other effects, including benefits on the increasing free testosterone, or testosterone in general. But there's actually a study that combined reishi mushroom and cordyceps together on long distance endurance runners, and it was like a 16-week study. Competitive endurance runners, they're like elite level runners. I might link it down below. Hopefully I will when I have time. And it actually showed I think it was like a 7.8% increase on average with the groups. I think it was like 20 runners compared to placebo. 20 group placebo. Increased testosterone to cortisol ratio is what it was actually studying. And that was during a 16-week training camp for competitive running and elite runners. So improving the testosterone to cortisol ratio by that much, even if, in absolute percentages, it's not, extremely compelling. In regards to recovery from exercise, typically what you'll see is as a training camp goes on, cortisol levels rise and testosterone goes down. So taking the reishi combined with the cordyceps, which I take, Hyperion Herbs cordyceps, by the way. It is absolutely my favorite cordyceps on the market. Let's see if I have it over here. Yes, I do. But yeah, the study showed cordyceps and reishi taken together actually improve testosterone to cortisol ratio. And for me personally, when I take reishi by itself, especially in high doses, I do definitely feel a lot more numb, but definitely more grounded and relaxed. And a lot more kind of insightful and philosophical for sure. But when I take reishi in the right dose at the right time with a good dose of cordyceps, and if you add a potent ginseng extract to it, I get the most balancing, satisfying, calming, athletic enhancement, but also motivation, ambition, and clarity of mind for healthy relationships. Like, it makes me want to love my mom more and talk to my mom more, which is interesting. But also, I have a lot more creative ideas that are not as out there and crazy. Because without reishi and just especially all the ginseng I take, it's out there. I get crazy ideas, and it works. But I'm like a mad scientist. But with fucking reishi, I'm more of like a spiritual monk Picasso. Okay, is how I'd put it. So it's great for like grounded creativity and stuff, but you have to combine it with something like cordyceps and like a yang jing tonic as well. So I like to take red Panax ginseng with it. Black ginseng is a whole nother story. That might be a good option if you find a good extract, but it's very hard. And then there's also things like Sustanche and black maca extract, but it's hard to find a good one for that one as well. You can use that in place of ginseng if necessary. And a lot of the kind of negative side effects people might report of reishi. So, remember, it's going to regulate your sex drive in a way that prevents you from being like, an unhealthy fiend, You know what I mean? And a lot of people seem to have that issue. A lot of people will report on forums and stuff that they cannot get hard for porn anymore and can't get motivated to watch porn, right? And so then they try to claim that Reishi lowers their testosterone because they're no longer fiending for porn, and it's just so insane. The fact is, Reishi is helping you overcome your pornography addiction because it's not conducive to your life goals. It's an aid in helping you get your life on track. That's what Reishi does. But for those people who feel like they need some kind of edge in that department, libido, stuff like that, which I've actually found Reishi in small doses, especially in the first like 2 to 4 weeks, can actually make my sex drive go crazy. Most likely due to something it's doing on free testosterone levels. I don't know exactly, but I can tell you that it definitely does improve sex drive in a very good way, like in a relaxing way, where you get satisfying orgasms and stuff like that that feel healthy and don't leave you like fiending for more, right? Compared to the normal person just sits there jacking off all fucking day, right? But anyway, there's a real problem people face, right? And Reishi will take the addiction aspect of sex away, you know. But if you still need that, black maca and sustanch, as well as like a cheaper yellow maca extract, those are good. Maybe, you know, and it's not gonna negate the anti-anxiety effects. Just be careful if you're taking sexual tonics like Yohimbe or something, which I have extensive experience with. It can completely mess up the effects of Reishi. In fact, with maca extracts, I think black maca would be one of the only macas I would take with Reishi, because yellow maca and the cheaper maca is gelatinized only. Don't ever take raw maca unless you want to just piss out your asshole, right? Black maca extract has more brain boosting benefits and is more in alignment with some of the kind of mental, spiritual, and creative aspects of Reishi. Black maca, in my opinion, is a more balanced tonic herb, and it definitely improves circulation to the genitals for sure. I have seen it firsthand in a better way than yellow maca. Yellow maca is more of like an aggressive, fiending for, you know, sex type of energy, whereas black maca is more of like a calm, chillax, improving circulation as well as mental boost, ambition, all that stuff. Black maca extract is so much better. And don't listen to people say there's no difference just because the colors have changed. I would say most herbs, when there's a change of color, polyphenols are changed, and that makes a huge difference in their effects. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna wrap this video up right there. Reishi mushroom, I think it's a great thing to take for people who are really looking to develop a more zen-like quality to their life, more introspection, a lot less anxiety, dramatically less anxiety, de-stressing, grounding your health, grounding your mind, improving digestion, and overcoming addictions and stuff. If you're trying to be on monk mode, right? Monk mode, just dedicating your life to your work and stuff like that, and trying to stay away from girls and relationships, and then things like alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, you know, any other addictions or junk food and toxic things you might have. I think Reishi is amazing for that. It'll really help improve and boost your self-control for sure, almost effortlessly. But just be aware that at the first 2 or 3 weeks, the grounding effects might be overwhelming. Try to stick it out, okay? Don't be one of those idiots on Reddit who's like, you know, trying to claim that it has negative effects on DHT and stuff. There's no human evidence that that's true. There's anecdotes from people, but most of that's fear-mongering from people who just got spooked out by reading someone else's experience, right? The nocebo effect's very real with that. You should be better off reading books about Reishi. There's a whole lot of great books on Reishi. I think there's one called Reishi, the Spirit Herb from like 1970s. And it's a great book, even though it's like 50 years old. Lots of good stuff. So, and Brandon Gilbert, search him up on YouTube. Brandon Gilbert and then Reishi Mushroom. Watch all of his videos on Reishi. He has great stuff, okay? So if you're interested, so remember, I've been taking Hyperion Herbs since 2014, give or take, and consistently since 2020. If you're interested, I'm going to put my discount link in the description. No, this is not me like trying to like, you know, anyone who's been watching me for a long time knows I've been taking Hyperion Herbs products with literally no discount code for years, okay? So I'm not like a charlatan or some shit, right? This is a top quality stuff you can buy. If you want to buy cheaper shit or whatever, start with Hyperion Herbs. Try out the real stuff first, because you know, when I first got into cordyceps, I had taken cheap cordyceps mushrooms for a while and thought, oh my god, I'm feeling something, right? But it was a placebo. The cheap shit it was a placebo. I didn't realize how big of a difference it's going to make when I actually tried Hyperion Herbs. So I started taking the real stuff from Hyperion Herbs, and I have videos of me explaining this. And I think you'd find a review on Hyperion Herbs website from like 2021 where I mentioned this. Taking Hyperion Herbs cordyceps, which is a real verified quality extract, night and day difference. I felt insane boosts of like energy, motivation, clarity, everything. So it's a huge difference. So don't waste your money on cheap herbs, okay? Anyway, I'll put a discount code in the description for 10 to 15% off. And yeah, so go ahead and go down there, check that out, and try out some reishi mushroom for anti-anxiety, and try out some cordyceps to boost your energy as well. They definitely pair great together. I'll be making another new video on cordyceps here soon. I have plenty of videos on reishi and cordyceps, so if you look them up. So, all right, y'all. Leave your questions and comments down below, and let me know your experience with reishi, please. Let me know the good or the bad, and any questions you might have. Especially fear-mongering. If you're concerned about the fear-mongering you might have seen, ask me in the comments, and I'll help clarify for y'all.